Hello guys, it's Kim Jong-Lee here, and I'm back with another online commentary battle for Rome Total War. This time it's a 4 versus 4 31k rules battle, so I think this is only the second time I've put one of these up, because my computer, or rather laptop, is very old, and it's a budget laptop, so it's not very good, and please don't expect high frame rates and wonderful graphics, because I can't deliver that at the moment. So hopefully it doesn't lag too much and I can deliver some commentary and I can move my camera as freely as I am now, but that probably won't happen. This was a battle sent in by Thor, who has been a subscriber to my channel for a while now, so shout out to him. This battle was apparently pretty lag free and it's a pretty good game, so we'll get into it. We have Odin over here as a Julii, probably 14-6 build. We have Samson, who I assume is Thor, with the 14-6 build also with the Julii, so it's going to be a bit hard for me to tell them apart. We have GREEK-ANTIOXUS, who is Bubo with the Macedonians. He's got 3 of these Cretan archers, 4 companion cav, and the rest are royal pikes. Then we have Hades, who's just gone 14-6. On the opposing side, we have Terrible Turk with the Carthaginians. He's got 3 Balearic Slingers, the rest Sacred Band. We have Cleo with 14-6. Satan with 14-6, I think. Yeah. And we have Lac Jac with 5-15, I think. So we'll get the battle started. Yeah, frame rate's not so good now. I'm not going to be moving too much because my camera is a bit fast and the FPS is quite low, so I can't really move where I want to. But we'll go through the matchups anyway. So Macedon has Cav, and I'm not sure if Carthatge does or if he's just hidden them. So I'm going to assume that the Julii and Macedon side have more cav. Terrible Turk has also started quite far back. Okay, Terrible Turk does have cav, so they're equal in cav. I think the Julii might have a little bit more, a little bit more cav, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So we have Bubo's taking the center, which is a good move because Macedon is much better in the center. For holding ground, and they're less likely to be able to get flanked and stuff if they're in the center. Although it looks like they're moving around right now, so I'm not sure where he'll actually end up, but we'll see. We have no archers except for the Cretans and the slingers, so there won't be too much missile like dueling, probably, maybe a little bit. But it really could go either way right now. I think you really want the Carthaginians to get matched up against the Macedonians. So it might have been better for Turk to start closer to his friends than to start so far back. I don't really see why you would start so far back. I mean, I don't see the point in hiding stuff, because if you're hiding things, then you're not using them for a lot of the battle if you're committed to hiding them. So you might as well just start off with them like where you want them to be rather than like hidden and stuff. But it looks like Turk is going to go and take the middle here for the this team. The Cleo Satan Lac Jac team. Yes, it's very low. You can definitely see the frames. It's quite amazing. Looks like Bubo's taken a position behind Samson, so he's probably going to wait and see where Turk goes before moving his infantry up. We have these Balearic Slingers here, probably trying to get into range so that they can shoot the Cretan archers over there. Again, more people crawling up. Positioning is quite important for team battles, especially on such a large size. Positioning can make quite a big difference. It's Turk still moving up. Lac Jac falling a bit behind Satan here. Satan looks like he wants to go pretty quick. Wants to get mashed up very quickly against his opponent. I imagine Turk is going to mirror the Macedonian infantry with his. Not much happening so far. Oh god. Okay, so the slingers look like they're in range of the Cretan archers, so they might start firing now. It's good to take out the archers with the Balearic slingers because they're not going to be able to kill much else. The missiles are just quite weak against infantry and even cavalry. The missiles aren't too good unless they're Pharaoh's Bowmen or the Forester Warbands. Missiles in 31k generally don't do too much because everything's just so well upgraded. Everything's gold and has high armor. So yeah. I think more stuff is happening on the other side, but I'm scared to go over there because my camera is so dodgy. I'll try and move up. Alright, so we can see that Terrible Turk has been engaged by... Oh, no, he's not. It's just a big mush of dudes. Okay, Satan's decided to pull back from Samson or Thor, so he's decided to not try and be so aggressive, I guess. I feel like he was maybe a bit hasty at the start anyway, but yeah, I guess reorganizing is quite good as well. So they're going to take it slow. It's going to be just going to be the Peeler duel. Cleo's here doing some manual Peeler, which is quite nice. So we have more Peeler things going on here and on the right as well. So really the Pike factions can't do much right now because there's still a lot of Peeler left over at this stage of the game. It's safer for them to just sit back and try and... Turk's doing something pretty good here. He's just gonna send a couple of Pike units and try and deter any cav strikes from coming in. So a push is very difficult now for the Julii team on this right flank here. Over here we have like a Peeler screen routing, that's nothing too big. It'll come back because it's got 60 guys. So I reckon if the Julii team attacks, they're going to attack this side. They're probably going to attack Cleo because it's harder to attack on the side with pikes, generally. So we can see Cleo and not Cleo, Bubo and Odin are just preparing to go for a pretty big push on this side, which I don't know. I don't really like it, but it could work still. If you get some nice angles in, pretty much anything goes. Now we've got some shuffling around going on here. Satan and Turk coordinating. It looks like it might be an all-in on this right side here. So we'll see what happens. If there's an all-in, I feel like Terrible Turks Pikes will just probably get this team the win. So I'd really like it if the Julii team went for the other side instead. That would be my preference, but oh. Anyway, I feel like okay, Cleo's got all this cap here. Okay, so Cleo and Hades are just going 1v1, so they can take their time. They look like they're taking their time anyway. So it's pretty much a fairly equal allocation of resources at the moment, which is quite good. Turk might want to keep these pikes there. Yep, he's going to keep them there. And he's going to keep mirroring the Macedonian royal pikes with the Sacred Band infantry, which is quite good. Also, there are a lot of there's a lot of cav committed to this side by both teams. What I'd like to see from the SPQR team right now is just like maybe Cleo would go in with a really big infantry push, and then these guys would suddenly support with their cav, and then wrap this left flank up really well. That's what I'd like to see from them, because the pikes look like they're about to engage this center army. And also all your opponent's cav is on the right side, or majority of their cav is. So if you have something like 12 cav against just like 6 that Hades has here, you can wrap up this side before the Julii team can get all their resources onto this side, and then you'll have the advantage from there, and you can kind of snowball it. But it looks like they're just, respecting the cav from the enemy team a lot, and they're just deciding to keep them here, which is okay as well. But we've also got a charge coming in here from Satan, going straight for some testudos. Probably won't have too much of an impact on the game. Yeah. Has to be careful though, but I think Turk probably knew that he had to lift his pikes up for that. I mean, routing 2 testudos isn't that impactful, to be honest. So it helps, but it's sometimes not worth it. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a pivot here to the right side. It looks like the Julii team really wants to focus on this right side, and I like how Turk's still moving his Sacred Band to keep up with the push. That's quite good. Lac Jac also has a decent spread. He could probably spread some of these infantry a bit more, just to stop them, just to stop the Julii from being able to wrap around. I like extending a bit here because you've got so much support from your allies right now. Lac Jac could really just kind of utilize that and push out, extend a little bit onto this right side, and then it would kind of stop the threat, and then they could potentially do a counter attack. If these guys try to push. So we'll see what's cooking over here. Cleo still, I guess, fairly even with whoever this person is, Hades / Bubo. So see how this goes. It looks like Turk has sent 2 of his cav over here, so they do have the cav advantage, but I'd like to see more of a commit to this side. I mean, sending 2 cav to defend isn't very useful. If you're going to defend anywhere, it might as well be the right side. So I like... I'd probably decide to send these cav over there instead. And just really defend that part, because you're not going to be able to make a decisive difference here. I mean, Cleo's got this pinned down pretty well already. I'd probably just try and trust Cleo on this side, that he'll win. So I like either keeping all the cav here or going for a kind of sneaky all-in on the left side from this SPQR team. Looks like the Julii are going to be moving in. Turk is moving his Sacred Band up and that might be a mistake because you want to keep the Sacred Band mobile, you want to be able to respond with them, you don't really want them to be bogged down in the infantry fight, you really want your urbans to be doing the grunt work, and you need the Sacred Band to stop any cav charge. If you engage the Sacred Band, then it's tougher to move them out, and it's tougher to decide where to put them when the cav charges come in. It looks like the Sacred Band have gone up against the Royal Pikes here. I'm still unsure whether I think the Sacred Bands are actually good against the Royal Pikes, but we'll see. They should be able to hold out for a little bit at least, I reckon. Again, more cav coming in here. Sacred Band better do work, because if they don't do work, the Royal Pikes are just going to go through this midsection. It's going to be quite dangerous. Looks like Lac Jac has split off some units here. So he should be defending this a bit better. These Julii coming around the flank could be quite threatening, quite demoralizing for the urban cohorts already engaged. Lac Jac's bringing more of his pikes over, and this could be the opportunity that the Julii team needs to really try and like crush this flank now. Now I really like their chances because the pikes aren't there anymore. They're redirecting masses of infantry over, and they have a lot of cavs just standing there, which I'd like to see do something. Looks like Odin is going to go in for a charge. That's going to be quite good. So there's a big crush there now. We've got a charge coming in from Satan. Nice counter there. But it looks like Thor is turning around. Okay, he's going for a charge. That was just the lag, probably. But we've got Thor coming in here for a counter of his own, and we've got Lac Jac going in for a charge on this right side. He really... Okay, that probably came down to Lac Jac. Lac Jac allocated all his cav to this like little blob over here, which didn't really help out. He really should have counter-charged with that, because his team was getting smashed by cav everywhere. The companions came in, Thor's cav came in, and you know, it's just numbers at that point. It's just like 12 against 8 or 12 against 6, whatever it was, isn't going to win. So you need like 12 against 12, you have a good chance, because if you get, especially if you get the counter charge in. So Lac Jac really needed to like do some work there, but he has managed to get around the sides, which could be valuable. But it really needs to be coordinated if it's around the side, because if it's not coordinated, the Julii can just turn around and really just crush this cav themselves, and that's not really what you want. We've got the Legionary First and General of Satan going down here, so that's not going to bode well for the SPQR team. And it looks like a mass rout of sorts on the right side here. We've also got Turk still using the Sacred Band cav over here. I'm not sure I like that. I think he really needs to try and stabilize on this side. Looks like a mass rout has gone onto the not Macedonians, Carthaginians as well, so it's just snowballing out of control now in favor of the Julii team. Looks like a very well played game for them. So all the Carthaginians are done, and this blob of red is just going to cannon into the urban cohorts here of Cleo, and it looks like a win for the red team, unless the SPQR team can really get some of those counter charges in. This charge here from Cleo, not going to be too impactful. Routing one Testudo isn't going to do anything. So if he wanted to rescue something, he really should have charged for the dangerous bits. It's kind of a risk he had to take at that point, but anyway, very nice game. We still got a bit of Brutii here, so Lac Jac is still alive and kicking. But oh my god, it's just overwhelming numbers of red, and Macedon is still fairly healthy. They still have, I mean, decent infantry force. It's really just Cleo and Lac Jac over here. Lac Jac is really blobbed up right now, and he's being held up by a couple of urban cohorts there, so all the Julii really have to do is consolidate with the Macedonians, wrap up this flank quickly, and then reposition, and they're basically done. Lac Jac can't do anything with his remaining guys. It's quite tough for him. to do it himself. And finally, the lag has disappeared because all units have been routing. How nice is that? We've got some of Bubo's cab here chasing off some slingers. Yeah. So this side wrapped up, and all the Julii have to do now is refocus on these Brutii units here, and that should be the game. So what the game really came down to was the right flank. We could see from very early on in the game that both sides were positioning to really take that right flank, and then surprisingly to me, Lac Jac kind of didn't stick with that game plan. He went for one of the corners instead. I'm not sure if that was a glitch or lag or whatever, but he pointed all his cav at the corner and went for like a bunch of maybe 3 urbans, which if even if they routed, wouldn't really have affected the game. I think he was going for like a wraparound, but the problem with a wraparound is it takes time to set up, and you can't do it that quickly, especially with large units of this scale. You can't do a wraparound maneuver very fast. You can't do it in time to save your allies or do them any service really. So what he should have done, in my opinion, was charge in with the rest of his allies, charged in with Satan, and yeah, that probably would have been able to stabilize them out of that situation, and maybe even got them the win, because it really was really crucial on this right side. Also, Turk really should have left at least, I'd say, 2 or 3 Sacred Band on that right side. It was very clear that the cow was going to come pouring in at some point on that side, and I think it was a mistake for him to move all his infantry back to the center. I think maybe some urbans could have been left in the center to help him out, and then he could have left a couple of Sacred Band on that side. It would have really helped against in that cav fight, and I reckon it was a mistake to bring them all back just to fight Macedon. I also think that both teams had opportunities on this left side that they really didn't take into account. Cleo and Hades, like with both teams jostling for position on the right side, the left side seemed kind of neglected. Turk did kind of pick up on it. He sent 2 Sacred Band units there to just try and pick off some units and make it easier for Cleo to get a route. But Cleo wasn't really playing super aggressively over there, and I guess he didn't feel inclined to, because his allies weren't really planning to go for all in on that left side. They were really planning to take the right side. And this applies to both teams, not just the SPQR team, but for both teams. So they were all really focused on that right side. And I guess most of them didn't see any opportunities to be had on the left side. I think a really like sudden swing where, you know, I reckon Cleo could have gone all in, or even Hades could have gone all in suddenly, and then if all their teammates swung around and just went full blasé on that left side, they could have snowballed it from there. So I thought that was a missed opportunity of sorts. But I think it was easier for the SPQR team to accomplish that, because the SPQR team was the semis because the SPQR team was they were the ones getting pushed back on this right side, so it was a lot quicker and easier for them to support on this left side to send units there than it was for the Julii team. So for the Julii team, they would have had to walk around the Macedonian units, or walk through them, which would slow them down a bit, and that would delay them a bit. And if the SPQR team had made that snap decision and coordinated that as a whole, I reckon they could have possibly gotten a pretty nice route going there and just snowballed it. And maybe there could have been a different result. But in any case, very well played to both teams. I thoroughly enjoyed this battle. I apologize again for the lag. My laptop is very old. I'll hopefully get a new one at some point, but I'll have to bear with it for now. Yeah, well played. Thanks to Thor for sending me this battle. Well played to, again, Satan, Lac Jac, Cleo, Turk, Bubo, Hades, Thor, Odin. Like, you guys did great. Great to see some old household names, and great to see you 4v4 without lag. I know it lagged when I was recording, but I'm sure it was different for you guys. So, cheers, and I will see you guys next time.